Hare Krishna. So thank you all for coming. Today we will speak about Sri Ram, Lord Ramachandra, in our series of the Dashavtar. And we will also show you some PowerPoint on the pen is mightier than the sword, and speak about the latest developments in ISKCON as far as preaching, outreach, and book distribution is concerned. In the beginning, I'd like to ask all of you, please turn your cell phones to silent mode or switch off. Otherwise, we have a rule. If your cell phone goes off, you have to buy one set of Srimad Bhagavatam, either English or Marathi. So please turn your cell phones on, put your ringer on maximum volume, and tell all your friends to call you, okay? Don't turn off all the lights. You can keep the lights on for the time being. So, in Jayadev's song, he is mentioning Vitarasi Dikshurane Dikpati Kamaniyam Dashamukha Mauli Balim Ramaniyam Keshava Drita Rama Sharira Jai Dagadisha Hare. You can keep the lights on for the time being. O Keshava, O Lord of the universe, O Lord Hari, who has assumed the form of Ramachandra, all glories to you. In the battle of Lanka, you destroyed the 10-headed demon Ravan and distributed his heads as a delightful offering to the presiding deities in the 10 directions, headed by Indra. This action was long desired by all of them, who were much harassed by this monster. So, Lord Ram is very popular in India and all around the world, because not only is he a great hero, but he is an ideal king, an ideal husband, and an ideal human being. There's a saying that follow the example of Lord Ram and follow the instruction of Krishna. You can't really follow the example of Krishna because he's done a few things that people will find objectionable. But as far as Lord Ram goes, he is the ideal personality. Therefore, wherever you go, you will see people worshiping Ram and remembering Ram and his wonderful activities. So what are some of the outstanding qualities of Lord Ramachandra? First of all, he was very obedient to his parents, something that nowadays is practically unimaginable. Everybody wishes to have a son like Lord Ram, right? You tell something and, yes sir, immediately. No questions asked. Okay. Not like, oh, I worked so hard for this and now this coronation has to happen. No. Immediately, okay, you want me to go to forest? No questions asked. I'll go. Happily, I'll go. I will not question your judgment, dear father. So he was very obedient to his parents and very humbly followed the instruction that he had been given. He had a very great sense of duty. Great sense of duty and sacrifice. If we see from the Ramayana the example that Lord Ram is giving for duty and sacrifice, it is quite astounding. It is quite impressive. And I think for each and every one of us, we can get inspired in our own little way. But if we look into our own lives, what is my sense of duty? What is my sense of sacrifice? What is my duty and what is my sacrifice? We'll speak about that a little later on. So Ram, he was the ideal son and he was the ideal king later on. And he protected all his citizens, and as part of his program, there was no unemployment. Everybody was gainfully employed according to their varna and ashram, according to their ability and capacity, according to their propensity. Everybody had occupation. Nobody was idle. So he was so skillful that not only all the humans were engaged, even all the animals were engaged. If you look at Ramayana, the different types of personalities that assisted Lord Ram, we have Chatayu. He was a vulture. We have Hanuman and the Vanaras. There were monkeys. There was bears. There was all types of living entities, and they all were engaged in the service of Lord Ram. So it reminds me of Srila Prabhupada, who also commented very often that just like Lord Ram, I also have a whole bunch of monkeys. I have a whole bunch of all different kinds of people. And I'm giving them service. But they're so surrendered, they're so dedicated to me that they follow my orders very enthusiastically. Also one time, commenting upon the theory of evolution, Srila Prabhupada mentioned, what evolution? They're still monkeys. Like everybody says, we're so evolved nowadays. But what evolution? Everybody is still on the platform of monkeys. Then, of course, we have Sita Devi, who's the emblem of chastity, faithfulness, and loyalty to her husband, Sri Ram. She never, even for a moment, diverted her attention from serving her worshipful Lord. And even when she was put through the ordeal of having to face fire, of having to be exiled, she accepted it with a grateful heart. And she thought, if this is the sacrifice I have to do to please you, then so be it. Then we have Lakshman, who was serving in a mood of protector, always being ready at the side, always being ready to protect Ram, not sleeping, not closing an eye, not budging from his position. Very inconvenient situation, just to keep Sita and Ram safe. And of course Hanuman, who is liked and worshipped by all, who represents full surrender and humble service attitude, full surrender to the mission of Lord Ram. So when we study Ramayana, we see many great examples of qualities that we can emulate in our own lives to our own small degree. It is very instructive. And Lord Ram, as the ideal ruler, as the ideal teacher, he also showed his devotees that they should not discriminate. Because sometimes the tendency is there that when we get good at something, we become a little proud. Has it ever happened to you? When you get a little expert with something, tendency is for pride to creep in. Has that ever happened to you, or is it just me? Well, it also happened to Hanuman, that when they were building the bridge, he was throwing big rocks and boulders and mountaintops. He was doing so much work, very impressive work. And then there was that little spider who was there. Some say it was a squirrel, and it was just moving grains of dust, just sand, into the ocean. And Hanuman said, hey, get out of the way. I'm coming. I don't want to step on you. And Ram chastised Hanuman and said, look, in my eyes, you're both equal. You're both doing equally important service. In other words, whether you're a Hanuman, or you're a spider, or you're a squirrel, or you're whatever, if we're sincerely trying to serve the Lord, in Krishna's eyes, he accepts that service equally. It's very important. Also, he was equal when Ravan's brother, Vibhishan, came and surrendered to him. He declared that somebody once says, I am yours, from then on, I will protect that person. He said, I vow that even if Ravan comes today and would surrender to me, I would say, you can keep Lanka. Then the devotees there said, but what? You already coronated Vibhishan as the king. What are you going to do? What are you going to give him? He said, I'll give him Ayodhya. That's okay. He was ready to give. So, to make that firm decision that from this day on, I'm yours. I'm surrendering my life. Pranair artair diyavacha. This is a very important decision that devotees are encouraged to make. But as everything in devotional service, it depends on our own volition. It is voluntary. Nobody can force you to do that. Ravan had that choice. Up to the last moment, he was given that choice, that freedom of choice, of surrendering or going down in flames. And he made the wrong choice. So we have these examples in history so that we can make the right choices in our own lives. Because small choices will lead to bigger choices, and eventually we'll find ourselves in a certain situation. When we look at the Ramayana, we find a great sense of duty, a great sense of purpose, and a great sense of mission. We can see that sometimes devotees got a little forgetful about their mission, just like Sugriva. After Vali had been killed, Sugriva got in the enjoying spirit, and he became a little confused. And for some time, he just went on enjoying. And after some time, he had to be reminded of what was the mission. So the Lord reminded him of what was the mission. And he excused himself, he apologized. After all, I'm just a monkey, so please forgive me. So in the same way, we may come to this Krishna consciousness movement, and we read Prabhupada's books, we hear the lectures of our Gurudevs, and we think, yes, this is nice, I want to do this. But then we go out and we do a whole bunch of stuff, and we again forget. And we have to be reminded. Has this ever happened to you? Or is it just me? So they say in different missions that you have to remind everybody at least every 3 weeks about the mission. So 3 weeks are up, so we're reminding you of the mission. We have been asked to do this. So bear with us. We're going to show a presentation which is called The Pen is Mightier Than the Sword, which is based on a book which was written by His Grace Vaisheshika Prabhu, who is a disciple of Srila Prabhupada, one of my Shiksha gurus, and he is very instrumental in expanding preaching and book distribution all around the world. So we are trying to set up this presentation. Just now coming. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Can you make it maximum? Pull it back a little. Can you? Yeah. Pull the thing a little back. All right. Can you make it even? Right now it's not really even. It's completely off center. No, yeah. You need to put something underneath that leg. Okay, are you ready? All right. So the pen is mightier than a sword. In the Ramayana, there's a lot of fighting going on. There's a lot of different intrigues, a lot of suspense. No, don't move the screen. So, and we see this drama and we think like, okay, so, all right, let's do it, right? The mission. What is the mission? So before we run off and get all enthusiastic and all fired up, we should ask, what is the mission? What do you want me to do? It's a very important task, because sometimes we run off to do whatever it is that we think we need to do without checking back, and then we just realize we've done the wrong homework. Has this ever happened to you? You just, missed a page or something? It's kind of embarrassing, isn't it? In English we say somebody's barking up the wrong tree. So the pen is mightier than the sword is a common known English saying. And we can see how in the history of the Ramayana, how much would we know about Lord Ram if we would not have the Ramayana? How much would you know about Lord Ram if all there was some deities in some obscure temples? How much would you know about all these pastimes, about all these personalities? Very less, right? Very small fragments. And a lot of hearsay, a lot of kind of elaboration and speculation that goes around, which is there in folklore. But it's not actually shastric. It's not actually substantiated by praman, by our tradition. So we are very fortunate that we have a great wealth, a great body of knowledge given to us in these books that you can see on both sides of Srila Prabhupada. You see so many editions of the Bhagavad Gita, and you can see Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita. If we would not have the Srimad Bhagavatam, we would really be in trouble, because we would be left to our own imagination. And that's not a very safe and sound proposition. Because as conditioned souls, we have 4 defects. What are those 4 defects? We cheat. No, nobody cheats here, right? Everybody's honest. Illusion, imperfect senses. And the tendency to commit mistakes. It happens, right? So therefore, we should not rely on human frailty, but we should actually accept Shastra. So, Shastra, these beautiful transcendental books, they're containers which hold ideas. They hold ideas like they're holding seeds. And they're very potent, they're very powerful. Like when you travel, they ask you on the immigration form, did you bring any seeds? Have you ever wondered about that one? Plant, seeds, and soil, right? That's what they ask. Why are they so worried about plant, seeds, and soil? Quarantine, yes. They know that if you bring something that may affect our livestock, that may affect our crop, or in some countries, that may affect the ideology of our people. Like when Prabhupada went to Moscow in 71, he brought 1 Bhagavad Gita. And the customs agent, he opened his suitcase and the Bhagavad Gita fell out on the floor. And Shyama Sundar didn't know that his wife Malati had packed that Bhagavad Gita. So he got very nervous and anxious, and he thought, oh no, now game is over. Immediately he can see we're coming here to preach Bhagavad Gita. They'll lock us up in jail. They'll deport us. And I've messed up. But the custom agent got so, he became so, he felt so bad that he had committed this blunder of like throwing this book on the floor and opening his suitcase in the wrong way. So he just took the book and everything and threw it in the suitcase and said, okay, go, 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 go. It's okay. You can go. Everything's fine. Nowadays, we have 100,000 devotees in Russia, Russian-speaking devotees. 1 lakh Russian-speaking devotees. From 1 book. So books are containers. They contain ideas. And these ideas are like seeds. Seeds are very powerful. That's why they're so worried about seeds on those immigration forms. They found in the camphors of the Egyptian pharaohs grains which were stored for thousands of years. They planted them thousands of years later, put water on it, and plants grew. So seeds are something very powerful. Like you had a desire, you had an idea that you wanted to be here in Radha Gopinath Mandir for this Sunday feast program, right? Remember yesterday you had some idea? It would be nice to go to the temple tomorrow. And you're here. Not by, a miracle or by teletransportation or by some magic flying carpet. No, you just had an idea. Can you see how powerful ideas are? Some people get an idea. I need to go to a certain country, or I need to go and learn a certain job. And even though it takes a long time and a lot of trouble, they'll actually go on doing it. But it all starts with a seed, with an idea. So we have to be careful what type of seeds, what kind of ideas get into our heads. Because once they're there and they're rooting, it becomes very difficult to change them. Jiva is known as Tatastha. Tatastha is that line where the water meets the shore. Tatastha also means open to suggestion. That the jiva can be swayed, it can be influenced in many different ways. Can you turn off these two lights here, please? Thank you. And depending on who we listen to, I think it's there. Thank you. According to who we listen to, the good dog or the bad dog, depending on that, we will get influenced. Just like to give you an example. You may be walking down somewhere in Bombay, let's say Marine Drive, and it's hot. Does it sound familiar, the scenario? And it's humid, and there's a lot of people out there, and you see some billboards, you see some hoardings, and one of them says, drink Coca-Cola, pour out the happiness, taste the joy of life. And all of a sudden, little jiva, who is open to suggestion, thinks, I think I should drink Coca-Cola. And even though every cell in your body tells you, don't do it, don't do it, I tell you, this is bad stuff, don't do it. Little jiva thinks, no, I'm convinced. I heard it somewhere. I have to drink Coca-Cola. And even though it's hot, and even though it's humid, they still go and they drink that stuff. Can you imagine that? How foolish one must be? Have you seen it happen? Have you done it yourself? So, books transform the world. Have you ever heard of this book, The Origin of Species, by Charles Darwin, written about 100 years ago, about evolution? How many of you own a copy of this book? That's 2 people. How many of you have read this book? That's 1 person. How many of you have heard of evolution? How many of you know somebody who believes in evolution? You see, ideas are powerful, books are powerful. Even though nobody has that book, nobody has read that book, but how many movies, how many papers, how many presentations have you heard or seen that started off with, as it says in evolution, blah-de-blah-de-blah-de-blah? Huh? Have you ever heard or seen something like that? As we all know, we're coming from the monkeys and this and that, right? All the textbooks have that stuff. Why? Because somebody had an idea and he wrote a book about it. Adam Smith, Wealth of Nations. Same thing, we're not going to do the routine. Very few people know about this. Very few people have read this. Have you heard of capitalism? Did you ever wonder why stuff costs so much? I wonder all the time. I bought some shaving blades and they charged me 470 rupees just for a few shaving blades, you know? Can you imagine? I mean, some people have to work for a few days to make that kind of money. Capitalism. You take something that's practically worthless and you charge people an arm and a leg, you charge them huge amounts of money. Why? Because you can, and they have to pay it. Huh? Again, somebody wrote a book and he propounded the idea, and other people, they started believing it and applying it. And all of a sudden you got a real estate situation like here in South Bombay that's insane, that's completely ridiculous, totally overheated. Another book, History Will Absolve Me. Fidel Castro was in jail in Cuba and he wrote with lime juice. And his wife came every day and took out a couple of pages that looked like blank pages. But when you expose lime juice in the sun, it comes to visibility. And she published that book. It was circulated, and it sparked the Cuban Revolution. Now, you may not have heard of that book, but you may have heard of communism. How many communists came to India from Russia and from Cuba and from Korea? 0. But they published books in 12 different languages and distributed them widely. So much so that the entire state of Kerala, which is one of the most literate states in India, and the entire state of West Bengal, Bengal just came out of communist rule. Kerala is still under communist rule after so many decades. Why? Somebody wrote a book. Simply ideology. But they wrote a book about it. By the way, today is also Labor Day. Today is also Maharashtra Day, yes. Also in Gujarat. So, people are getting together. They're bonding. They're protesting for the cause of the proletariat, of the working class. So Krishna consciousness is spiritual communism. We're actually extracting all the positive principles from all these different ideologies, and they're incorporated in Krishna consciousness. We also have evolution. Have you ever wondered? Matsya, Kurma, Varaha, Nrisingha. There is an evolution, right? There's also evolution in consciousness. So certain principles are there, but we have to learn how to apply them properly. Common Sense by Thomas Paine sparked the American Revolution. Very important book. Again, one man in jail wrote one book, circulated it, and it made a big change. Of course, everybody has heard about the Bible or the Bhagavad Gita or the Quran or the Torah. These books have sparked revolutions in humanity. So they transformed the world. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu traveled in South India, he found the Brahma Samhita, 5th chapter, and also he found the Krishna Karanamrit, and he had it copied and circulated widely. Devotees were very happy to get those literatures because they're very substantial. If we wouldn't have Brahma Samhita, a big part of our history, of our legacy would be missing. Ramadi murtishu kalani amena tishtanana karoda bhuvaneshu, and so on. Ramadi murtishu. Rama is the first manifestation after Krishna is Ram. Now Ram can mean Balaram, it can also mean Ramachandra. It's a direct expansion from Krishna. Nothing less. We would not have that knowledge that Brahmaji has given to us if we would not have the Brahma Samhita. So we're very fortunate. He had those books copied and circulated among his devotees. Here you see one of the first printing presses, because formerly books were written on palm leaves. They were either edged with metal stencils or painted with ink made from flowers. Now that means if you edge something, like if you're edging something in stone, you only have one shot. If you mess up, there's no word processor. There's no erase button. If it's done, it's done. Can you imagine? You have to compose everything in your mind, and then you have to put it out in perfect composition. Very difficult job. So that's the way how they compose formally. But then to actually widely distribute scripture like the Bible, Gutenberg produced the first printing press with lead set. Books give access to higher education. I'm sure many of you have a kind of a mixed feeling with books. Like if I tell you textbooks, what comes to your mind? Long sleepless nights, right? Cramming for exams. Oh, so much data I have to stick into my little flash drive, into my little memory chip, and tomorrow I'm supposed to know it all. But books give access to higher education. A couple of days ago, we were in Ujjain, and we visited the ashram of Sandipani Muni, where Krishna and Balaram went to school and studied all the 64 arts in 64 days, and perfectly absorbed and learned everything that Sandipani Muni wanted to teach them. So, we can see that books are very important. Books are very valuable. Now, nowadays, there's so much talk about other forms of media. People don't read anymore. But even when you look at other types of media, everything is based on books. Even if you have movies, you have drama, you have theater, you have song. Like today, beautiful drama. It was based on books, based on real history that's being documented. So if you want to get educated, books are a very important factor of that educational process. One time I was sitting in Vrindavan, and after Bhagavatam class, hundreds and hundreds of devotees came out of the temple room. Just like here after the drama, hundreds and hundreds of devotees went out the temple room because they thought, okay, now I saw the drama, and now I can go and, do whatever I want to do. And I wondered with another devotee, where did all these devotees come from? Because there's devotees from the whole world, from everywhere, from every race, from every continent, from every country practically. And we figured out that all these devotees, they came from Prabhupada's pen. Because Prabhupada was sitting in Vrindavan and he was writing Srimad Bhagavatam. And from his pen, from his typewriter, all these devotees have come. Because there's no other reason. Why are we sitting here today? Because Prabhupada took the time and the trouble to every night sit down for several hours, and he translated not less than 6 pages. Have you ever written 6 pages for an essay? It's quite a job. It's quite an effort. Huh? Every night 6 pages, without a fail, for all the 11 years that he was visible with the devotees. Every night 6 pages. That's his contribution. He sacrificed his sleep to give us these books. Nowadays we live in a world where people are bombarded with all types of distractions. We have the weapons of mass distraction. People think that there is so much information out there, but it's mostly propaganda. Have you ever noticed how most of what you see in the news or read in the paper is just propaganda? Somebody wants you to believe something. Pure faith. Simple manipulation. So, and we have weapons of mass instructions. So, books are giving instruction. Just one small library contains more ideas than all of the movies and all of the songs put together in the world. So we should surround ourselves with the right type of books, because this is our tradition. Sampradaya, it means to give, or a bequeathment. Mukti padaya sadhaya bhak. All we have to do in order to receive this inheritance from this parampara is we have to stay alive in Krishna consciousness. That's the message for today. Stay blissful and stay alive in Krishna consciousness. Then you will inherit this great gift that has been given through our acharyas. Initially, Tene Brahma Hridayadi Kavaye Muyantiyat Suraya. Krishna spoke Chatushloki Bhagavatam to Brahmaji. And what's Brahma holding in his hand? One set of Bhagavatam. Okay? Our attendant, our assistant, please make sure this person gets their set of Bhagavatams. So what is Brahma holding in his hand? He's holding a book. So we are the sampradaya of the book. This is the sampradaya of the book. And then, after Brahma, Vyasadeva, he codified the Vedic literatures. He took all these immense knowledge and he written it down in a way that is accessible and comprehensible for the common man, for you and me. Because if we hear Chatushloki Bhagavatam, you have read Chatushloki Bhagavatam? We have read it many times, right? If I ask you, okay, what are those 4 verses? Who remembers them? Any show of hands? Who knows the 4 verses? Thank you for your honesty. Who has an idea of what these 4 verses are about? Yeah, Krishna, right? Yeah. Spiritual knowledge, yes. Anything a little more specific? So Vyasadeva wrote it down in a way that's digestible, it's understandable, it's accessible for common people with the help of Ganeshji. Then Madhavacharya, he commented upon these works, and other acharyas commented upon them. Did you know that there are 81 primary commentaries on the Bhagavatam? Shiva Purana, which is the second most commented upon Purana, has 17 commentaries. Bhagavatam, 81 commentaries on Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam Purana Mamalam Yad Vaishnavanam Priyam. Srimad Bhagavatam is the perfect, spotless Purana. Thus it is very dear to the devotees, because it depicts all the history of the Lord and His incarnations and His pastimes of His devotees and the instructions of the acharyas and the mahajans. Then Srila Sanatana Goswami, the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan, Nana Shastra Vicharanaika Nipuno Sadharma Samstapako, Lokanam Hitakarino Tribhuvane Manya Sharanya Karo. They painstakingly went through all these Vedic literatures and they extracted all the relevant passages and texts that were important for us. Like when you do want to write an essay or a thesis or some piece, you usually mark certain types of works that you want to study and you have to extract certain information from it. I'm sure you have had that type of experience, right? But then you look at certain books and you think like, should I really read this whole thing? Or should I just look at the summary? Now they went through all these literatures and they extracted all the passages that were related to devotional service and that were relevant for the devotees. How much are we indebted to the 6 Goswamis? Let's give a hand of applause to the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan. How could they do it? They didn't spend time on social media. They didn't take selfies. They didn't run around, doing all the stuff that people do nowadays. They were busy, and busy they were for Krishna. Because they had a sense of mission. They had a sense of purpose. So, we should also ask ourselves, what's my mission? What's my purpose? In French we have a saying, la raison d'être, the reason to be, why we exist. What gets you out of bed in the morning, if you get out of bed? Is it just breakfast? Or is it something else? Is it just self-preservation? Or is it something more than that? So Rupa and Sanatana Goswamis, they wrote over 100 books, poems, dramas, compilations, songs, beautiful poetry, magnificent instructions that are here. We have them. Even the originals, they're available. You can go to Calcutta, to the BRC, to the Bhaktivedanta Research Center, and you can look at some of those originals. It's quite astounding. So we owe a great debt of gratitude to the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan who have dedicated their lives to give us these literatures. And they also excavated holy places. They showed to us how to worship the deity, how to live as devotees. Very important tenets that are available. Then Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, great acharya in our Sampradaya. He was also district magistrate and a high court judge. He had 10 children. He wrote also over 100 books, songs, and poems. And besides that, he went in Calcutta door to door, knocking on people's doors, collecting 1 rupee each to build the temple in Mayapur at Yogapith for Lord Chaitanya's birthplace. So I know when we talk about book distribution, some of you may think, well, but I have a position, I'm a known person, people will maybe not appreciate, I have a prestige, I have a reputation to protect. Well, what about Bhaktivinoda Thakur? He was the district magistrate. You can't get any bigger than that. He was the biggest in his time. In the British Raj, he was on the top as far as Indians were concerned. But he went and collected 1 rupee door to door because he understood that this is the mission and this is the purpose of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So in the same way, when people will see you at the train station, or people will see you somewhere at a festival or at a book table, and they will ask you, what are you doing here? I mean, I thought you're working for, yeah, I'm still working for the bank, I'm still working for the lawyer's office, but what are you doing here? You can say, I'm a volunteer for ISKCON. Can you say that? I'm a volunteer for ISKCON. And you know what happens? People say, oh really? Oh, that's really nice. Maybe I should do something like that too. Huh? Because people are looking for opportunities. In California, in Silicon Valley, Mountain View Temple, they have a program where they allow corporates to come and do seva at the temple. So they do the sabji cut up, and they do the serving out, and they come with their shirts, they put on their shirts, Google serves, or Intel serves, or Credit Suisse serves. And then one lady commented that she was from a Swiss banking institution. She said, middle-aged lady, around 50, she said, when is the next time when you have this event? I want to do this again, because I felt so good. This is the first time in my life that I have volunteered to do something for nothing without getting paid. First time in my life. And it made me so happy that I want to know, when can I do this again? Huh? So it is our duty to give people service opportunities. How many people can go on the altar and worship the Lord? How many people can cook for Radha Gopinath? Very few people are qualified to do that. How many can preach? How many can distribute books? Everybody can do that. Just like Lord Ram, he engaged everybody in his mission to find Sita, and then to build that bridge, and then to win that war. In the same way, Prabhupada has once said that I want to spread Krishna consciousness everywhere at once. So that's a tall order. He wants to spread Krishna consciousness everywhere at once. So there's room for each and every one of us. There's scope for each and every one of us to engage ourselves in Prabhupada's mission. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur created the Gaudiya Math. They had 64 temples, 4 printing presses. He had a daily newspaper about Krishna. Nadia Prakash. Can you imagine? Every day, newspaper. And if somebody would just go out and give out a few magazines for a few paisas, he would be very happy and he would praise that brahmachari. And he told our Srila Prabhupada, if you ever get money, print books. If you preach in the English-speaking language, it will be good for you and it will be good for the world. So Prabhupada basically dedicated his life to write Srimad Bhagavatam and to propagate the Krishna consciousness movement, to make Krishna famous. Because this is our tradition. Ishvara tadadineshu baliseshu divsatchu cha prema maitrika krupa upeksha yakaroti samadhyamaha. It is explained by one of the Nava-yogendras in the 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam that if you want to become a Madhyam Bhakta, if you want to become an intermediate devotee, you have to make friendship with the devotees, worship the Lord, ignore the envious, and show mercy and compassion to the innocent. But how can we show mercy and compassion to the innocent? How is that possible? When you walk in the streets of Bombay, or you're in the traffic, or you're wherever you are, you meet so many people, and oftentimes people look at you, and because they see that you're a devotee, they say, Hare Krishna. Has it ever happened to you? Yeah? And then what do? You say Hare Krishna, right? And then they look at you kind of like, do you have something for me? Like, you know, like Krishna was looking at Sudama. We heard this morning. Do you have something for me? Did you bring something for me? Have you ever had that experience? People have that look on their face. Like, so you're a devotee. So you're supposed to give me something. Because that's what devotees do. They give you Krishna. But if I was too lazy, if I was too self-absorbed, if I was too spaced out, and I didn't bring nothing, it's kind of embarrassing. I walked out a street, and in front of the corner on the other side of Axis Bank, there was one lady, Ruby, she's a professor at Wilson College. She saw me and my friend, and she said, I have to ask you a question. Now, you're from Christian background. I can see that. Why are you doing this Hare Krishna thing? And I explained to her about bhakti and why we do what we do. And she appreciated it. And then I took out a book. And I gave it to her. It's a book about bhakti, the art of eternal love. And then I said, you can also give a donation. And she asked me, what will you do with the money? Have you ever heard that question? What are you going to do with the money? And sometimes when I'm feeling a little funny, then I say, we buy guns. We buy guns because, it's a dangerous world, right? No. So we're fighting ignorance by giving people transcendental knowledge. And she said, yes, that's a very good thing. I'm a teacher. I can relate to that. I like that. And she gave her 100 rupees. So the point I'm trying to make is carry books wherever you go. Because whenever you meet that person who looks at you and goes like, you have something for me? Then we have more to give to them than just our own, smile. We should be able to give them something substantial that they can remember, that they can benefit from. So Prabhupada gave us these beautiful books. And we have done the survey. Less than 10% of our congregation has all the books, and less than 10% have read the books. It's a very shocking, it's a very deplorable state. So we should change that. I spoke to Radha Prabhu at Eco Village, and he told me that he has made it a point that he will do Bhagavatam installation at people's homes. I don't know if he comes to Bombay, but I know in Pune he will do it. So if you want the books, the sadhus are there ready to come to your home to bring the books and do an arti, do a puja, do an installation, and make a nice program. You can invite all your friends and all your colleagues and everybody from the neighborhood, and you can install the Bhagavatam. Because these books are none different from Krishna. Krishna svadamopagate dharma jnana dibisaha kalaunashtam drishamesha purunarko dunodita. When Krishna left this world some 5,000 years ago, where did Dharma go? Where did the religious principle take shelter? They took shelter in the Bhagavatam. So if you want Krishna in your home, get the Bhagavatam. You may say, I don't have any space. Well, just look at your library. And wherever is the most prevalent space, just make space. Just take out some books and put the Bhagavatam, put the full set of books there. So this is the perfect gifts for people of the world. Sometimes we think, oh, how can I distribute books? Like we're going to talk a little bit about this program 50-50, because this is 50th anniversary of ISKCON. Did you notice? ISKCON has just turned 50. Huh? Like Brahma also turned 50 some time ago. Now we're in the second half of Lord Brahma's life. Huh? He's getting old. Huh? So, 50. We distributed 52 crores of Bhagavad Gita. You may say that's a lot of books. Every year, 10 million. But actually, it's not so much. The Gideons, one small Bible society, they've done 60 million last year. We did 10 million, they did 60 million. So there's a lot of room for improvement. If we have approximately 2 million members in ISKCON worldwide, there must be 2 million people who are considering themselves as loyal ISKCON followers. If every one of those persons would distribute 50 books a year, how many books would that be? 100 million, right? 10 crores. That's a start, right? Now, how difficult is it to distribute 50 books? Is it difficult? No, it's not difficult. It's one set of all the books, and that's it, you're done. You sign up one person to get all the books, you're set, and you're done for the year. Or you get 50 of your favorite book, 50 Gitas, 50 Perfection of Yogas, 50 whatever, and either you gift them, or you distribute them, or you put them on your desk in your office. I walked into a car dealer shop in Switzerland, and in the middle of his showroom, in the middle of all his fancy cars, he had a table with a big stack of Bibles. And any person who walked into that showroom, he said, this is a gift from me to you. God bless. Anybody. Just gave him that book. I have a friend in Pune who has a cloth store. Anybody who purchases for more than 1,000 rupee gets a Bhagavad Gita as a bonus. Not going to give you a discount, but I'm going to give you something more valuable. I'm going to give you Bhagavad Gita, like that. So it's possible. But we have to look of opportunities. We went up to Juhu for Ram-Navami, and we came down again on the local train. So we jumped into the train, and it was the cargo compartment. You know where the guys are with all the luggage, all the parcels, all that stuff? And it's hot, people are tired, they kind of, you know how it is on the local train? Have you ever been on a local train? I'm asking rhetorical questions just to, keep you awake. Because it's so nice chill here in the AC, that you don't know when people just kind of... So, and everybody was kind of like that in that train compartment. So what do you do when people are kind of half asleep? Huh? Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. All of a sudden, everybody was wide awake. And they were clapping, they were smiling, they were looking. Some were already pulling out their wallets. So I just went around and gave a book to everybody. And 30 books just went like that. Just from Juhu station, what's the station called? Ville Parle, down to Grand Road. It's not long, it's just a few stations like that. So you take a couple of stops on the local train and you chant Hare Krishna and your 50 books are gone. I guarantee you. You travel anywhere. I just went up to Kumbh Mela for a few days with a friend. And what you do is you get your books and you go to the airport early. And you check in, keep the books in your hand luggage, and then you have a boarding pass. You're all legitimate. You can walk around the entire airport and just distribute books. And people are bored. There's nothing to do in an airport. Have you ever been in an airport? Have you ever felt bored in an airport? There's nothing to do, right? Nothing. But then comes that person and says, hey, Hare Krishna, I have something for you. Now, you may do it in a different way than I do it. But that's okay. Everybody has a different style. I say, Hare Krishna, my name is Navin. I'm from Switzerland. Do you need a Swiss banker? Oh, no? You don't make enough money? Okay, no problem. Still, you're qualified. Here, I'm with ISKCON, and we're showing these today to all the nice people. Are you one of the nice people? Yes, just checking. I thought so. And you can help. You can also contribute something. And people will be very happy to talk to you. I can guarantee you. Because life in the mature world is boring. Mature world is a boring place. Same stuff. Same advertisements, same politics, same sports, same everything. Nothing is actually exciting. But Krishna is very exciting. Krishna is very attractive. So, take the books with you, bring them out, put them in people's hands, and see the magic. You see now, we see the magic. You talk about magic, and there comes the magic. Like children have this magical gift of their voice, So if you use some of your vocal capacity, one guy said, I would not take this, but just because you asked me, I will take it. Just because you made the effort to talk to me, I will take it. Many people like that. Huh? They will say, oh, I go to the temple and I give at the temple. You can say, have you ever heard that argument? I go to temple, I will give at temple. Well, today, my sir, you're lucky. Today's your lucky day. The temple has come to you. Okay. Then they remember. Their mom told them, don't argue with sadhus, okay? It's not a good thing. Huh? So, anyway, this is the perfect gift. I have a friend in Pune. He's over 80 years old. He got together with his high school classmates. I don't know how many of them were still alive, but he gave them all Bhagavad Gitas. And after 2 months, one of them called him and said, I'm very upset with you. I have to complain to you. He asked why. He said, how long have we known each other? He said, well, about 63 years. So yeah, so why did you wait so long before you gave me that book? He said, I only got the book myself 3 years ago, you know. And first I had to read it to become convinced myself. Because before you share something, you want to know what you're sharing with people. So the fastest way how to learn something is to start how to teach it. Because once you actually start talking about something, people will ask you questions. What does it say in your book? And then you have to do your homework. And you have to actually start reading up. You have to get into the books. And that's a very good thing to do. People are looking for gifts all over the place. You know, gift shops, this, that, on the internet. What can I give to whom? What do you give to the person who has everything? Give him a set of Bhagavatams. Give him Prabhupada's books. This is the greatest gift that you can give to anybody. And nobody will object. So these books are available in so many languages, in so many different varieties. They're very affordable. And Krishna is all attractive. And He's ready to do the magic. If we are ready to just become empowered. Krishna Shakti Vinanahetara Pravartan. This is what turns spectators into participators. We cannot live our life in remote control mode. There is no ras. There is no real benefit. We have to start take action. Like when Hanuman was faced with the scenario, he didn't say, oh, let me think about it, you know, I'll get back to you, you know. Just leave me your number and I'll get back to you, you know. Don't call us, we'll call you, right? No. When he got the mission, he picked up the mission and he ran with it. He flew. Prabhupada wanted ISKCON to be an educational institution, which is gonna re-spiritualize humanity at large. Why do we have so many problems? No need to get into problems. You know better than I do. There's a few problems in this world. But there's one solution to all these problems. And that solution is Krishna consciousness. Dibhagyan hride prakashito. To open the darkened eyes with the torchlight of knowledge. To enlighten people. There is only greed and ignorance and terrorism and anxiety, etc. because of plain absence of spiritual information. So Prabhupada, from the moment where he started to the moment he left this world, he gave us this greatest gift, this greatest legacy of spiritual knowledge, so that anybody, whether it be in their office, in their homes, in their cars, anybody can pick up a book and become benefited by it. I was in Toronto and I met a lady. She was 82 years old. She said she left Germany before the war broke out on a boat to Canada with nothing as a teenager. Then I gave her Bhagavad Gita and I pointed to Prabhupada. I said, you left as a teenager. He left when he was 7 years old and he had nothing. Just on the order of his spiritual master to give this knowledge to the world. So she looked at the Gita and she very gladly took it, gave a donation, and at the end she told me, son, thank you, you made my day. You made my day. And I was thinking, thank you, Prabhupada, you made my life. Because if I would not have gotten the book of Prabhupada, I would also still be out there chasing the dream. So there's so many volunteer opportunities. And this involves everybody. Because, you see, this is a team effort. Samyak Kirtan. The Sankirtan movement of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is a team effort, a consolidated effort, where everybody can work together. Just like when they built that bridge. Everybody worked together. Everybody pulled their weight and made their contribution. So in the same way, we have this opportunity that everybody can work together to help Prabhupada please his spiritual master. Vishwanath Chakravarti Pad, in the purport to the Vyavasayatmika Buddhi Ekaya Kurunandana verse of Bhagavad Gita, he says that the perfection of the life of the disciple is to study, imbibe, and serve the mood of the Guru. What is the mood of the Guru? What is the mood of our parampara? It is a spirit of giving. It is a spirit of sharing this message of Krishna consciousness. And for that, a team effort is required. And that really builds, that galvanizes our community. Otherwise, we may think, oh, we have so many groups, we have so many interests, we have so many ideas, there's so many different ideologies going around. But if we meet on the common ground, the common platform of Sankirtan, things become very solid, they become very strong. Have you ever experienced being in a kirtan where you forgot the time, the space, and everything else? Has it happened? I surely hope so. That's why you're here today. And it's not that we become, we lose our mind or we go blank. No, it's because you actually taste ecstasy, this amrit, this nectar that people are looking for when they take that special snan at Kumbh Mela. We can experience that every day when we get together with devotees and we chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Yatredyante katamrishtas trishnaya prashamoyataha nirvairam yatra bhuteshu nadvego yatra kaschana. Wherever and whenever the Bhagavatam is being heard and recited, envy becomes eradicated, at least for that time being, and people start cooperating and working together in a peaceful way. So if we find that envy is a factor in our lives and that we're critical and that we have issues with the world and everyone in it, get together in a group and hear the Bhagavatam. I know it sounds like a radical type of a proposition. Please try it out. Give yourself the luxury of sitting down every day and hearing Prabhupada's books. Okay, you may not be able to do so many hours. Can you read one verse? Is that possible? It's possible, right? Bhagavad Gita will take you 2 years. Bhagavatam will take you 46 years. Most of you can still do it. But you have to start today. So a day where we don't read Prabhupada's books is actually a day that we wasted. It's a day that we wasted. So put it in your to-do list. Make a reminder on your smartphones. Put a sticky note on your fridge, on your TV, on your forehead, on your bathroom mirror, on your mobile phone, Did you read Prabhupada's books today? Sometimes before hitting my head to the pillow, I go like, man, wow. Again, the day's over. And I forgot a few things. Has this ever happened to you? That super soul kind of kicks in and tells you, hello, Haribo, Hare Krishna. And then what happens? The tendency to cheat, right? You look at your counter beads, and there is 4 left. And you think, did I chant those or did I not chant those? Yeah, I chanted those rounds. Yeah. Did I read today? Yeah, it's okay. Tomorrow is another day, I'll be more fresh. Yeah, what fresh? Trust no future, however pleasant it might be. You switch on the light, you get out of bed, you chant those rounds, you read your shloka. Why? Because I need it. My survival depends on this. Otherwise, I get out into the city, I might be infected by so many ideas, by so many viruses, by so many ideologies of sorts that will have an effect on me. You see? But if I'm strong in Krishna consciousness, then, if you're galvanized, you know what galvanization does? Any metallurgic engineers here? I know one, my friend Radha Prabhu, who is at Kumbh Mela right now. You galvanize a metal and it becomes very strong and tough, and nothing can actually affect it. So we should galvanize ourselves by this process of hearing and chanting. Confirmed. And in this way we build community, we actually get a sense of unity, a sense of togetherness. We're going to fast forward here because we all enjoyed the drama. And so, what is the mission? The mission is to chant Hare Krishna and to spread Hare Krishna. Because that's Krishna consciousness. We chant Hare Krishna and we spread Hare Krishna. We chant Hare Krishna and we Okay, so if you walk out of here and somebody grabs you by the arm and says, what did that guy talk about in there? What did he talk about? Are you convinced of that? Thank you for your great audience participation. So, because if we read Prabhupada's books, we will absorb Prabhupada's mood, we will absorb Prabhupada's ideas, and then when we speak to others, these ideas will come out, and we can share these ideas. Have you ever spoken something from Prabhupada books? Even something very simple, like Dehinos Minyatadehe, you know? The soul transmigrates like, you know, you're going through different stages in life. Have you ever spoken something like that to anybody? And that person went like, wow, wow, that's revolutionary. Where did you get that from? Has it ever happened to you? People were like shocked, because there's nothing as pure as transcendental knowledge. So we create what's called an idea virus, and then we encourage individuals to become volunteers and to take up the mission, and they have a whole lot of ideas. But instead of sense gratification, they'll have the idea for preaching, for spreading Krishna consciousness. And that's very good, because that keeps one safe. And in this way, leaders will emerge, and we will cultivate this spirit of spiritual entrepreneurship, where people feel empowered. They take up the mission, and they actually go out and do something. Everybody should ask themselves, what's in it for me? What do I get out of this? Sri Prabhupada once said that Krishna can give you the whole world in 18 days, but what would you do with it? Right now we have a hard time just managing our own little lives, our own inbox. For some that's too much to manage. So to cooperate means to get together on the same foundation. So this Sankirtan movement will encourage us to take up sadhana, because our preaching depends on our chanting. Because once we give people a book, they will look at us and they'll say, they look at the book and they look at us. They look at the book, they look at us. And if the two don't match, no, I don't want it. Because if it says Hare Krishna, then when I look at you, I also want to see something that matches. Investing in our next generation. You saw these beautiful drama by these very talented youth. Everybody looks for a mission in life. Everybody wants to do something substantial. I ask any person I meet, what is your job? What is your occupation? What do you study? And after they say what they had to say, I say, so you're one of the good guys, right? And you know what's surprising? Everybody thinks that they're a good guy. Have you ever wondered? Everybody in this world thinks that they're the good guys. So who are the bad guys? That's the other question. So give people a sense of purpose. Prabhupada was very strong on that. And if we want to keep Prabhupada in the center, we should build our lives around Prabhupada's books. This will cause positive stress, and bored, apathetic, and underwhelmed or anxious, burned out emotions will go out the window, because we'll feel positively stimulated. People in this world are bored. Why are they driving like maniacs at 2 o'clock on the sky, on the ceiling? Have you ever wondered why people do that stuff? Racing their motorbikes and their cars on the ceiling in the middle of the night. Have you ever seen that? No? You never came at night? Have you ever done that? People do that. Why? They're bored. They just don't know what to do with their lives. I was walking the Great Wall of China. People were all carrying selfie sticks and just videographing themselves. And come on, you're on the Great Wall. I mean, there's a lot to see. There's something to experience. But they don't even notice what's there. They just see themselves. So people, they're day walking, you know? They're just asleep. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. So we have 10 minutes. We take a couple of questions, but first I would like to hear a couple of reflections. What is something that you remember that you want to take away from here? By the way, Prasadam only starts at 3 o'clock, so you're in no rush, you're in no anxiety. There's enough for everybody, we check. By the way, if you want to pick up your 50 books, talk to Sadbhuj Prabhu and to Baladev Prabhu or any of the brahmacharis. You can get your 50 books. Because when that person looks at you on the train, do you have anything for me? You don't want to look stupid, right? Okay. Any reflections? What do you remember from today's class? Something? Or you're blank? Yes. We have a mic here, so please. No, questions come after. First come reflections. Anything that you remember. Chant Hare Krishna and spread Hare Krishna. Okay, what do? We chant Hare Krishna and we spread Hare Krishna. Because we're not just selfish. We're not just concerned about ourselves. We want to help others. Prayena deva munayaksva vimukti kama maunam charanti vijanena parartanishta naitan vihaya kripanan vivumuksha eko nanyam tvadasya sharanam brahmato nupashye. Prahlad Maharaj says there are many saintly persons in the Himalayas and at the Kumbh Mela and here and there, but mostly they're worried about themselves. They've taken great vows, they're doing great austerities, but I don't think that that's very good. I think it's much better to go to the big cities and towns and preach about your glories and give people your mercy. Because without your mercy, people cannot be happy. Any other reflections? Yes. Read Prabhupada's books every day and distribute the books. Yes, a book a day keeps Maya away. If you have a book in your pocket, if you carry one of Prabhupada's books in your pocket, it's like your insurance policy, you know? You know, if that interested person comes, I have something to give. Or if you are stuck and you have to wait because things don't move, you have something to read. So please, I beg you, humbly, always carry at least one of Prabhupada's books with you. Can you do that? And you know, the year has 52 weeks. Once a week, somebody will look at you and smile at you. I tell you, it will happen. I mean, you will be shocked, but it will happen. And they will say, can I have that? And then you give it, okay? So please try it out. Your life may never be the same. Because right now we look into the world through the eyes, the lenses of sense gratification. I like, I don't like. I like, I don't like. I like, I don't like. Sounds like Facebook, right? I like, I don't like. So that's the vision how people look into the world. But when you have the eyes, the vision of Prabhupada, of Prahlad Maharaj, then you're looking, where is my candidate? Oh, you smiled. Okay, I want to talk to you. Here, take this book. And you see Krishna everywhere. You see opportunities for spreading Krishna consciousness. What else you remember? Work in a team, yes. There's 1.2 billion people in India. I can't talk to all these people. I need to build my team. Right now, people build teams for whatever reasons, for whatever purposes. Build your team of spiritual activists. Get together. Study the Bhagavatam. Set yourself a goal. Did you know that if you read 41 pages, you can complete the Bhagavatam in 1 year? Just 41 pages. You can do. Huh? If you read 1 hour a day, it takes you 4 years. If you read 2 hours a day, it takes you 2 years. Very good. Huh? It's doable. Even if you read one shloka, it'll take you 46 years. But start today. What else you remember? Prabhupada translated every night 6 pages. That's quite astounding. To me, that's quite impressive. Yes. We should have a mission in life, and not just breakfast, lunch, dinner, breakfast, lunch, dinner. We should have a mission, because everybody else in this world seems to have a mission. So what is my mission? And maybe I can team up with Krishna's mission, with Ram's mission. Why are people chanting Raghupati Raghava Raja Ram Patita Pavana Sita Ram? Why? Because Ram, he gave the mission and he lived the mission. He walked his talk. So in the same way, if we combine ourselves with the mission of the Acharyas, with the mission of Prabhupada, our life will become meaningful. A person may be ordinary, but if they put on a uniform, they become extraordinary. Have you ever wondered why people with uniforms behave in such, the way they do? It was so funny. I was out there right in front of Wilson College, and there was a policeman, and he just stopped a truck guy, and he was just at the moment where he got the bribe from him. I mean, just at that moment, I caught him. Right there. Caught him red-handed, with the money in the hand, no receipt, nothing. And I gave him a book. And then I said the magic word. I said, Dhanapatra. And he looked at me. Are you for real? And I said, of course I'm for real. Here, put it right here. And he just handed it over to me. And he asked me, what is your name? And I said, Navin, I'm at the temple over there. Come for darshan and prasadam. I asked him, what is your name? And he said, my name is Krishna. I was down in Kolaba Street in front of that cafe, and I met a college student, and I gave him Bhagavad Gita, and he said, no, I'm an atheist. And I asked him, what is your name? He said, my name is Arjun. I said, that's okay. Arjun was an atheist too in the beginning, He didn't believe. So it's okay. You will like this. So he took the Gita. What else you remember? Yes. Yes, 6 Goswamis and our previous acharyas, we should follow in their footsteps and imbibe their example. So we have one question here. Yes. Chatushloki Bhagavatam is the 4 verses that Krishna spoke to Lord Brahmaji. Tene Brahma Hridayadi Kavaye Muyanti Yatsura. He revealed them in his heart, and it's there in the Bhagavatam. So if you read I'm not going to tell you which ones. Huh? I want you to read. You will figure it out because you're smart. You will notice, okay? Prabhupada comments on it. So just read the Bhagavatam, you'll get the 4 shlokas, okay? What is the importance? It's the essence of the Bhagavatam in 4 verses. Because Brahma is highly intelligent, so Krishna gave him everything in a sutra form, in an essential form. He bestowed upon him those teachings. Because Brahma his body consists of pure intelligence. He doesn't need 18,000 verses or hundreds of thousands. Okay, we got an anonymous question here. To distribute books during marathon is easy, but how to make our mission to distribute books throughout the year? Well, I just told you. You go down right now, you pick up your 50 books, and you just carry a book in your pocket wherever you go. And at one point you feel like I don't want to carry this book around anymore. So you just take it out and you give it to somebody. It's as simple as that. Prabhupada once said, you just pile up books in your bedroom so there's no more space for you to sleep. And if you want to go to sleep, you have to clear at least 6 feet of space. Huh? Okay, last question and then we're going to stop here. Yes, in the back. We need a microphone back there. So this mission is not just relevant for a few brahmacharis. This is not something we do in December. Everybody needs a mission. Everybody needs a sense of purpose. Prabhupada had a great sense of mission. He had a great sense of purpose. So did Lord Ram and all his associates. And that's why they're so glorious. That's why they're so famous. That's why they're so illustrious. Because they have a sense of mission. Yes, when you have a mission, you have to sacrifice. You have to dedicate some time, some energy. There's some austerity involved, some hardship. That comes with the package. You don't have to look for that somewhere else. It will come. It's a free gift, as we say. Free gift. It comes. It's included. But without that, it's very difficult to make any spiritual advancement if we're just stuck in comfort zone and we just do what's convenient and we just do what's expected and we're just keeping it safe and doing the minimal requirements. That is not our practice of Krishna consciousness. Srila Prabhupada said, I have one disease, I cannot think small. I can only think big. So Prabhupada gave us the vision and he empowered us. He gave us this instruction that you use your own ingenuity, you use your own artistic sense and skill to do what is required to make connection with people. Be available, be accessible to people, and speak to them about what's meaningful, what's dear to your heart. Hopefully that's Krishna. And then you'll be surprised. People will actually take it up. Why? Because it's meaningful to you. People are looking for realization. There's so much information out there. So much information. Terabytes of information. But there's very little wisdom. If you want wisdom, you have to have knowledge that's applied with compassion. Then you get wisdom. Then you get realization. So we may read all the books, but if we do not endeavor and go out to do a little sacrifice, then it will not transform into wisdom. It will stay theoretical. It will just stay gyan. But we want wisdom. We want realized knowledge. Because that's the stuff that really touches people's hearts. That's what convinces people. That's what's keeping people alive in Krishna consciousness. Yes, I was just waiting till you would interrupt me. Finally, thank you. Yes. 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 One what? Yes. Can you speak into the microphone? Okay. Yes, you chant and? Okay. That's okay. Every journey starts with the first step. That's okay. That's okay. So you just do that, okay? Sure. Yeah. Sure. That's wonderful. So you do what you can. You chant Hare Krishna before you go to sleep and you read one shloka of Gita a day. That's wonderful. That's perfect. Well, I have to disappoint you that there will be bomb blasts, there will be airplane crashing, and there will be accidents, and there will be people dying from cancer. And you can help prevent that by giving people this gift of transcendental knowledge. So it's nice that you have the books, and you have the deities, and you have the knowledge. But if you also start to share the knowledge and start to spread the gift, start to spread all these gifts, this good fortune that you have received from your ancestors and from your beautiful tradition, then you will actually cherish it even more. Because charity starts at home. When we can start to help others, then we can actually taste it and realize it much more. We can carry on later on. We have to stop here. Thank you all very much for your kind attention. All goes Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada ki, C.C. Radha Gopinath ki, Gaura Bhaktivinoda ki, Nitai Gaur Premanande.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.